Hey everybody, welcome to Tomato Talk Live.
Hello.
I'm Lauren, otherwise known as Mrs. Tomato Head.
And I'm Jen.
Um, I was thinking before we started earlier, I'm like, my Friday nights have changed an awful lot over the years. Like if you had told me when I was in my 20s that I would want to spend an hour with my good friend and fellow tomato head talking tomatoes for an hour, I would have thought you were insane, but there's no place I'd rather be.
Uh-huh. This is
And
a great place to be.
it is. Thank you all for joining us on this Friday night. This is our. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather. Not that I'm trying to make excuses for myself, but I was telling Jen that I'm like the mailman that rain, sleet, snow, whatever. Nothing's keeping me from stopping to talk about tomatoes. So Jen and I had this idea. What about a couple months ago, right?
Yeah. I think when
Yeah,
we first had the live with on your channel.
yeah. So I run my alter ego, other than Mrs. Tomato Head, is Laura, Gratitude Addict. I run a community on Facebook called Attitude of Gratitude with Chronic Pain, where we're people that live with chronic emotional and physical conditions that try to do things that help us, solution based, that live our life to the fullest. I had Jen as a guest on my show to talk about gardening and the joys of gardening. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we talked like it was just a very easy conversation to have. And I was like, well, we should do this about tomatoes. We could probably do it like 10 times better.
Yeah, even we had a meeting yesterday to discuss this, and I don't think we talked about the meeting at all. We were just
Yeah.
yeah,
For
yeah,
like 45 minutes.
yep.
Just I was like, oh, it's been 45 minutes. We haven't done anything.
Nope, we haven't done it, but it's okay because we're just talking tomatoes, and we want to keep you guys in. We want to hear from you. Obviously, if you're here, you like tomatoes, and we can put your comments up on the screen. Hi, Amanda. Thanks for watching.
Hi, Kristen.
Kristen.
And Forgotten Heirlooms. Hi, Ken.
Oh, Ken's here. Hey, Ken.
I'm so
Ready to
excited.
see my newly found tomato obsession. Hang with us, M. Kelly. You will be addicted. Well, it sounds like you're already addicted, but yeah, you're in the right place for sure. Woohoo, says Amanda. Kristen, hey y'all. Oh, it's my other Jen. I have two Jens in my life that my husband, Rob, Mr. Tomato Head. I've got Malachite Jen. That's Jennifer Fox, and then I've got YouTube Jen. Both very important people in my tomato world. So hey Jen, until the little one interrupts. Hey Ken, glad you're here.
If you guys see me looking down, it's because I have my iPad and I'm trying to read the comments.
We're so glad you're here. Annalise is here. She told me that it would be under Logged and Lodge. Glad you're here. Anne, hello from Central Illinois. I just met Anne recently up, and it's our girl Deb is here. Hey everybody, so glad you're here. So we wanted to spend the hour kind of talking tomatoes. I know it's at least where I am, and I know you, Jen, we're kind of early in the season still, but I know you're getting some tomatoes, and I'm getting some tomatoes. Yeah. Where are you at, Jen?
I am in northeastern West Virginia, so it's like right next to Maryland.
And what zone?
Oh, zone. It's like 7A.
7 some. Okay. Mm-hmm. And I'm in rural New Jersey, almost Pennsylvania, little town called Asbury, which is not Asbury Park. That's down at the shore. And I'm kind of 6B, I guess. So I guess we're not too far off. But you've had some heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been pretty hot. Like 90. I think it was when you asked me yesterday when I went outside because I had to go prune a row of tomatoes, and it was 96 degrees.
Man,
it was
hot.
Just brutal. You're just like drenched in sweat and just covered in tomato tar.
Well, tomato tar is the best thing to be covered in.
Oh yeah, like my hands were black.
If any of you are out west, I know that they're dealing with like record temperatures. I heard that this morning. That's not, Ken, maybe you can answer this. And I know Malachite Jen can answer it because we talk about this all the time, that heat is not good for setting tomatoes. Am I right about that?
No, it's not. I think it's like, I don't even know if it's over 85 or over 90 degrees. And then the blossoms, they'll just fall off.
Yeah.
If you don't have blossom, you don't get fruit.
Yeah. Thankfully, I've got a lot of set tomatoes already.
Yeah.
But you know, there's some that haven't yet. So yeah, those of you out west, I think they said it was a record temperature, like the highest heat ever recorded yesterday.
Yes. Yeah. My
It's
husband just told me that.
105 here in Northern California tomorrow. Oh, stay cool.
Yikes.
Anne says 91 here, ugly hot. Yeah, it's pretty hot here too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little late, but I made it. So glad you're here. This will be recorded also. So if you miss anything or want to go back to it, you know, please feel free. And for those of you that this doesn't work for your time zone, you're watching the recording, hey there. Before we kind of dive into things, we're giving away a couple prizes. So Jen's giving away.
Should I show everyone?
Yeah, why don't you?
Okay.
And of course, you got yours packaged up already.
I have it right here. So,
okay.
And we're also going to we're doing a taste test, right? If we have time.
Yeah. Yep.
So I've not tasted this one ever, but I'm going to give away because I'm going to save the seeds from it and dry them out and everything. It's on there too. So I'm going to taste test Susie's Beauty. I hope you all can see that.
I think I'm growing that.
And then some of my favorite ones that I really enjoy. There's Aztec Micro, Harvard Square, Purple Bumblebee, and Orange Jazz. Oops, and then the Susie's Beauty.
Yeah, I think I'm growing Susie's Beauty. You would think I would know that. This year is kind of insane, but not as insane as you. That's why I like to hang out with you, because you make me look like less insane. How many tomatoes are you growing?
Oh my gosh. I don't even know anymore, because just the other day I was like, let's plant another 80. And like I planted, well, it was all the seeds that you had sent me. I had started those, a bunch of micros. So I planted up another green stalk container full of micros.
I saw you got a new green stalk. I was jealous.
A bunch of dwarfs. So I planted a bunch of dwarfs in ground, and then just in different places in my yard, because I was like, well, let's see if I can get a tomato to grow there. Can I get a tomato to grow there? Like just on the corner of my house. Like I was just like, I'll put it here, and then I'll tie it to the drain spout and see.
I do the same. It's not the prettiest garden, but I just shove tomatoes in wherever they fit, because we both love tomatoes. You know, if you guys want to contribute, tell us what you're most excited. I meant to do a banner for all of this, but tell us which variety you're most excited for this season. If you've tasted it already, let us know what it is. Jen, with your prize, you said Harvard Square when you were on my show last time. You said, I asked you what your favorite tomato was.
Yeah, that's a tough question, but I have to say that's the most unique tomato I've ever tasted. Yeah. It is very different in flavor, and in a good way. Yeah. It just kind of like, it blew me away. I was kind of like, I tasted it last year. I did a taste test video on my channel, and I was just like stunned. I was like, wow, I didn't know a tomato could taste like that. So it's probably my favorite so far, but I've got so many to taste this year, because I actually did not start not one plant that I've ever started before. Like everything is new to me. Now I have a couple of volunteers.
Every single one? I didn't know that.
Every single one.
Wow.
I have a couple volunteers. I think White Currant volunteered. And then there's a couple others where they volunteered in a weird spot. And I was like, well, and I don't know what they are, but I was like, I'll let that one go. Yeah. I want to see if you can do your thing on your own. So, and I love volunteers.
I do too. And you've got one growing. I saw one in one of your videos, and like poked out of something, right? Like a bed or something.
Sadly.
Oh no.
I think because it was continuing to try to grow in such a small hole, it just like chopped off. Like today I went out there and it's down on the ground.
How the stem would do.
So sad. It was trying really hard.
Yeah.
It didn't make it.
If you get volunteers, tell us, the craziest place that you've ever had one grow. I don't think mine's been too crazy. Compost pile for sure. And they're always like the best tomatoes, aren't they?
Ooh, Mary's cherry. ML said, my dwarf Mary's cherry, very, very delicious.
Ink Spot and Rosie Finch.
Oh, yeah. I've got some Ink Spot that I've got over there. I'm like ready to taste those.
I have
a bunch of stuff on the table. Everything is just now starting to ripen.
Yeah.
And I've got, what have I got? Garden Pearl and House over here. I need to taste test. Like I'm getting ready for some taste test videos tomorrow with my husband.
Awesome.
So that should be fun. Yeah, he's always a hoot when I do a video with him, because he describes stuff just so weird. But
no, I like hearing his take on it.
Tastes like a walk in the park. Like, I'm like, what? Okay.
Yeah, it's really nice that Ben is so active with your tomato stuff. Rob is too, Mr. Tomato Head, but he's more of a behind the scenes guy. I asked him if he wanted to come on tonight because I'm tasting a variety that I am most excited about. Well, there's like 3.
That is so pretty. That is so pretty. You take such good pictures of
thank you. Yeah, it's like if you look in my phone, I've got like way more pictures of tomatoes than my children. I mean, my children are grown anyway, but like, and Rob comes home and I'm like, I didn't get anything done in the garden. That's because I've been sitting around taking pictures of tomatoes, because everything is ripening, like you said. This one I'm super excited about because it's a cross between, and I know Malachite Jen is too. It's a cross between our two favorite. Rob and I have the same taste in tomatoes. Do you and Ben?
I don't know. I think kind of like I don't know. We don't, when we do the taste tests, I mean, he pretty much likes what I like. Yeah. I don't think he's a big fan of white.
I don't know that I've ever had a white tomato. Can you believe that?
I grew like 3 or 4 of them last year. Yeah.
I mean, coyote is like a little yellow, but it's not white. Let's get to some of your comments.
Yes.
Let's see.
Ooh, big green
is growing well for me, but the tomatoes are smaller than I expected. I had some really big ones, but also small ones. It was like a variety of sizes. Sathya says she's growing dwarfs this year. Awesome. I saw Jerry, our buddy Jerry's here. Hey, Jerry, glad you made it. Purple bumblebee. Awesome. I'm growing sunrise bumblebee for the first time. And my expectations were low for some reason, and it really surprised me. Have you grown that?
No, the bumblebees are really great. Yeah. I grew sunrise, purple, and pink last year and the year before. They're like my husband's favorite cherry. Really? He says they look like dinosaur eggs. Is that
they kind of do? Yeah.
And he likes them. But I didn't grow any of those this year. I've got green bumblebee.
Oh, why don't I have that?
I know, right?
Yeah.
I'll send you seeds.
I'm a big fan of the GWR.
It's really big. It's a big green. It? Yeah, it's like, I would say the other bumblebees are probably 3/4 the size of what green bumblebee is. It's a pretty big cherry tomato.
Awesome.
It looks really pretty. Wish it had it on the table I could show you.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to bring them all downstairs.
I got my other table over there full of tomatoes too.
This is Rob's mother who passed away many years ago. This is her china. I thought that the taste test, especially of Uptown Funk, I started saying why this one's important to us. It's a cross between our number 1 and our number 2 favorite, which is crazy. It's a
I'm growing that one.
Blaine Horton variety. Mm-hmm. It's Malachite or Malachitovaia Shkatulka. If you're Russian, I'm sorry, I brutalized that. And Berkeley Pink Tie-Dye. But for some reason, there's also a third. It's Indigo Jen Malachite.
Rose?
It's either rose or apple. I think it's rose. So my question is, like, do 2 positives make a better positive, or does it not work? I don't know.
We're going to find out tonight.
We are going to find out. Fat Frog says, Annalise.
Oh, I love Fat Frog.
Wait, it's your first ever green tomato? You inspired me to try a green one, Lauren. Awesome. It is the only green micro.
Ooh, Jade Beauty and Sneaky Sauce, says Kristen. Ooh, I think I've got Jade Beauty somewhere out in my garden. You asked me how many I have now. Probably about 600 tomato plants.
Oh my gosh. I wasn't expecting that answer.
Maybe even more. But I think that the amount of varieties I have is between like 350 and 380 different varieties. So there's a bunch of duplicates now, but
that's crazy.
Yeah, I've got a lot of tomatoes because I just kept stuffing them everywhere I could over at Materville. That's my
tell us about Materville. What's by the way, if you don't subscribe to Jen's channel, I don't know if I showed this already. Jen has a YouTube channel. Many of you are probably watching on it. It's at Jen Cordial. Jen Joy your day. And on Instagram, she's at JenJoy383. Yes. So you do a lot of great videos, which I'm addicted to. You're very good.
Thank you. I just like taking people along with me and sharing my love of everything gardening and whatever else I have some other fun videos that I do, like on a whim. I'll just be like, I'm gonna just do this, so I'll just put that up on there too.
It's great. You're very real, and I think that's why we became friends, is that I just felt like, you know, the two of us, I think we just started talking like right away.
Yeah, messaging each other. I was actually, the day we met, I had just like started to break ground on Materville. And I think
Really?
I think we had I met because you had put a message on someone else on something someone had asked me, how many micros are there?
Right.
And I didn't really know. I was just like, well, I have about 80, but I don't know, you know. And you had put I have like 150 or something like that. I can't remember exactly what the conversation was. I was like, oh, I got to know this person. So I messaged you. I was like, you want to trade?
And we did a great big, it was my
like
biggest
I'm
trade.
over at Materville trying to like dump dirt and message you and take pictures and show you like what I'm doing. And I'm like, look at this. This is my second tomato garden.
So tell us what,
not one, but two.
You have your home. Yeah. You grow is what it's on a slope, but somehow you put tomatoes in there.
Steep incline. Yep. Yes. And my husband built me, I'm at the loss for the word, tiers down.
Yeah.
It's terraced. Yeah, it's like terraced garden beds all the way down it, and we're still adding to it because I can never have enough space to plant things.
I know.
But and then I wanted to grow so many, because once I became a part of Tomato Obsession and started trading, I ended up with like, I don't know how many, like 600 to 700 new varieties. And I'll tell you what, trying to pick the ones I wanted to start. Now I think I'm up to like over 1,000 new varieties within a year of being on Tomato Obsession, just trading. And there's like the gifting posts where you can get gifts. So I needed more space. So I asked.
Of course, not growing them is not an option. And I was telling Annalise today, she was watching, I did a live garden tour a couple days ago, which was kind of a hot mess, but I'm going to do another one next week. She said she had watched it, and she said, you're growing so many tomatoes. I'm pretty sure it was you, Annalise, right? And I said, yeah, it's amazing how that happens. You know, I get seeds and they just fall into the soil. I don't know really how that happens. Or I'll take a sucker off a plant. I'm a sucker for suckers. And I'll be like, ooh, I can stick this in dirt and create a new plant. But tell us what Materville is.
It is, it was a garden plot. I asked a family member. They had this big chunk of like flat land, which is new to me because I'm always gardening on that stinking hill. And I asked if I could, throw some tomatoes in there and have like a little garden plot. And they were like, sure, absolutely. So I just started, I got a big load of dirt and started making, I call them like lasagna beds, because I put cardboard down. I just put cardboard over the grass, then garden soil, and then mushroom soil on top of that. And then it's 2 really long rows just full of tomatoes. And then I took all my hot peppers over there too, because I want to try to save seeds. And so I can't have any hot peppers here because I want to save seeds from my sweet peppers, and sweet peppers and hot peppers cross. So there's more than just
I didn't know that. I don't know as much about peppers.
Yeah, I don't either, but I do know that if I were to have hot peppers anywhere near, like on my property, then all my sweet pepper seeds that I saved this year are going to end up making hot pepper varieties.
Interesting. That explains a lot for some of the seeds I've got from Etsy over the years.
Yeah, I don't want to trade people saying, oh, I've got this really yummy, juicy sweet pepper, and then bite into it and it be like a jalapeno or something.
Yeah, so, it's a bummer.
Lots of tomatoes over there, and I'm trying a different method, like a string method, which I'm really falling in love with. Yeah, the tomatoes almost like use that to climb up it. It's kind of wild. Like I don't really do a whole lot. Every once in a while I'll get a flippity floppity one, and then I just gotta, but I am not pruning as much as I usually do. Like I went over yesterday right after we got off and spent like 4 hours pruning. There was like this one area that was just a mess. Like it was a jungle. And I'm like, well, what the heck am I supposed to do with this now? All flopped over, and I had to it was like a puzzle. I had to take it all apart and then try to figure out how to get it on there. But
yeah, we've kind of got the same thing going on. We have 2 new raised beds that Rob built, and we have our in-ground garden and then a whole bunch of grow bags. So we're growing, including I think we're doing 120 something regulars and dwarfs, and then like another 120 something micros. And for those of you that don't know, I in January I decided I'm going to grow all the micro dwarfs, everything I can get my hands on. I thought it would be a good thing to show my community attitude of gratitude with chronic pain for people that don't necessarily have garden space that they can grow in the house. So I'm like, how many micros can there possibly be? Right? There's a lot of micros.
Yes. I can't believe how many you have. That's insane.
And the people, many of our friends that are watching right now have been so generous. Like when they see my list, I've got this crazy spreadsheet. If you've ever traded with me, you guys know. And they're like, oh, I've got this. And there's, I've got a list of things I'm looking for. It's just awesome. And they're so much fun to grow. They don't always taste the best, but some of them do. Some of them do. I get a lot forgotten heirlooms. Ken's watching right now. That's a great place to get your micro dwarf.
Oh yes, that's where I got my first micros. Was from Forgotten Heirlooms.
Yeah, I think it's forgottenheirlooms.com. I should have put that up. Yeah, very very good place to get micros.
Oh, yeah.
And
other tomatoes too. He's got a really good selection of some really cool tomato varieties
and peppers. And
oh yes, and peppers.
He was showing some beans the other day, and I'm like, what is this? I told him I need a tab. I need to start with him. All right, let me get to some of these comments.
Someone asked, have you grown Hardin's micro?
Yes.
I think I have. You sent me seeds for that one, didn't you?
Probably. Yeah, I was just sharing that with Malachite Jen today. It's a cool variety. They're long and skinny. I meant to get all these graphics up and I didn't get a chance to. Have you ever tried to breed your own? No.
It intrigues me though.
It does too for us too. We have an accidental cross that we really had nothing to do with, but this Bananas Noir, which I'm giving. Oh, by the way, if you want to win our prizes, all you have to do is put where is it? In the comments at some point during the broadcast, just write #tomato, and then we've got a giveaway tool. So I'm giving away my top 3 Malachite box, Berkeley Pink Tie-Dye, Bananas Noir, and then 2 of my favorite micros. Vilma is my favorite so far. And then Groovy Tunes, which I shared in Tomato Obsession just today. So if you want to win, just put #tomato somewhere in the comments. But so the Bananas Noir is an accidental cross we got several years ago that is from Ananas Noir, which is a larger beefsteak, gorgeous. I think one of the most beautiful tomatoes, if not the most beautiful tomato. And some unknown cherry. We had 2 plants growing next to each other. We thought they were both Ananas Noir, and this new one was clearly not. It had the same coloring, but it was more of a saladette size. So over the years, we've grown it, tried to stabilize it, and we feel it's much more flavorful. It's very sweet. But we never gave them away until this year. I had actually Malachite Den and the Baker Creek group asked if we would give them away, and Rob's like, no, that's ours. And I'm like, well, that's not fun. And so yeah, many of you have gotten that. I gave some to them.
2 of them in my garden right now.
How do they look?
They are looking good. Yeah. One of them's wild and crazy because I didn't prune it at all, but it should hold lots of tomatoes.
Yeah, mine, I just noticed yesterday mine are starting to blush, which is exciting.
None of mine are starting to blush, but
no. It's a little late. I think it's a mid to late season. Mostly. Let's see. Definitely will cheerlead from mushroom compost. That's what I've got in our raised beds. I
amend my beds with it every year.
It's awesome, and I think our tomatoes are going crazy because of it. We have a local, like a garden, not really a garden center, but it's a local place, and they call it their John Adams mix, and it was topsoil. What do they call the kind of topsoil that not filtered, but something like that, and mushroom compost. And I swear we're not pruning that garden either, Jen, and they're like going crazy. So yeah, I agree. Good stuff. They're harder to find here in Canada. I'm not sure.
Are you talking about micro dwarfs?
Yeah. So if you guys aren't a member of the Tomato Obsession group, this is where Jen and I met, and many of you guys. It's a wonderful group. It's the only other group
It's on Facebook.
Yes, it's on Facebook. And it's great. It's really great. We have you're a moderator. Jen's a moderator.
I'm a moderator. Yeah. So, and we're all about love and kindness. So if you're mean, I'll give you the boot.
Yep. And that's what I like about it. I belong to other groups. I was telling you yesterday, and sometimes, somebody who may be new to growing tomatoes. They'll ask an innocent question, and then, everybody claims to be an expert and they kind of jump on this poor person. Tomato Obsession is not like that, and that's why I love it.
No, we'll get rid of you if you.
Yep.
It's a drama-free group. It's very much, if you try to start any kind of drama, you're going to be, I think we give warnings. We give a warning or two, and then if you keep trying to do it, then we just get rid of you.
Yeah. And
it's growing fast. My goodness.
It is.
I remember this time last year, I think when I joined, there was like maybe 500 or 600 members, and now we're, I don't know, 9,000.
Is it that much? I think I was like 2,000 when I joined.
Yeah. I mean, this past 3 or 4 months, all I do all day is accept people. You have to agree to the group rules.
Yep.
Agree to the rules, you can get in.
It's great. And like you already said, there's so many like seed swaps and games. And,
yeah. I hosted my very first seed swap. It was called the Shamrock Seed Swap on there. And it was pretty successful. I really enjoyed doing it. So I think I'm going to do another one this year too.
It's great. It's a great way to try new varieties without actually buying an entire seed pack. Wow. Anne says, one of my coworkers said she couldn't grow tomatoes, so I set her up with a hydroponic Tiny Tims in the office. That's adorable.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Those little micros are just, they're so fun.
They are. Yeah. They really are. I'm having such fun with this project, but I wasn't really thinking it through because they're all ripening now during tomato season, so I'm trying to get it so I can do a video review on my YouTube channel, and that's just not happening. So I'm taking a lot of pictures.
I have this feeling that all of my 600 tomato plants are just going to ripen all on the same day. And I'm just going to be like, I'm going to tomato taste testing for like a week straight.
It's good stuff. I was telling Rob last night we had chocolate stripes the night before, which was great. What was last night? Oh, Fred's tie-dye, which was good.
Oh, yeah. I think that's the one. That's actually the one I'm tasting today. Susie's Beauty is a cross with, no. Is it not Fred's tie-dye? Wild Fred.
Yeah, I get them mixed up.
Wild Fred and Beauty King. So
I'm growing that too. The plant is not very beautiful. But hopefully the fruit will be beautiful. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I grew that one in years past.
Rooting for roots. I have a few micro tomato seeds I am thinking about growing. I'm excited to try them. You should be. They're really fun. And I am finding that some have very little flavor and others are pretty good. I kind of have two rating systems. Like my regular tomatoes, I do 1 through 10. Micros have, like if I give it a 9, it's like 9 for micros. It doesn't really apply to the others, but I find for taste, at least Vilma is the best. Oh, Deb says my banana noir looks amazing. That's fantastic.
Awesome.
That's fantastic. We wanted to talk about the different types of tomatoes, right? You brought this up yesterday, like the determinate
dwarfs.
Yeah.
Micros, variegated, like you can fall into these like rabbit holes.
Yep.
and then when you get in there, you want all of them. So you go on the hunt for all, like the variegated, like that's my next thing is I want all the variegated tomatoes.
Yeah. And Annalise sent me a variety called Allure, which I know Ken is also growing. It's woolly, which means it's fuzzy and variegated. It's awesome. So I just took a sucker off of another plant, and now I've got 3 plants. It's really cute. And my
husband just got
home. Ben. He's a Mr. Tomato Head too.
He just got home from work.
What was I going to say? The woolly. Oh, I remember when I joined Tomato Obsession, I heard people talking about the variegated. I'm like, I don't really care. I just want it to taste good. That went out the window. I do care because I got from Ken from Forgotten Heirlooms. I got Shimo Fury. And then I got from a trade Nemu, Nimu.
Ooh, I've never heard of that.
You don't have that? Uh-oh, I smell another trade coming. They're so pretty. And Shimo Fury actually tastes really, really good too.
Mine's still very little. You gave me seeds for that one. I think it was you. Yeah. And so it's pretty small. Yeah. Is it a slow grower? Because I planted
most of the micros are slow. For the most part. I took a picture of Groovy Tunes and put it in Tomato Obsession today. Man, that thing took forever. That's for those of you that don't know, it's a I wish I had a picture to show, but you can kind of pick it out of a crowd, right, Jen? Because it's got
my goodness, yeah, because you think it's sick.
Yeah, right.
It's like yellow looking. Tomato plants are always really pretty green, and it's like this yellow, but that's how it's supposed to look. Yellow, right. Like yellowy, like chartreuse.
Chartreuse, that's what they say. Yeah. And then the fruits are this really cool stripe. And I had one plant. So in Tomato Obsession, we did, or we're still doing this grow a micro tomato in a can contest or challenge. And so St. Patrick's Day, right? Everybody was to start, and you can do as many cans as you want. Day. As long as it was like a tomato product, right?
Yeah. I brought mine. I brought mine inside because they're suffering because of all the heat. Like the can dries out so quickly, I can't keep it. So I was like, I'm just bringing it. It's over here by my sink, both of them. They're still not ripe. Like that's one thing about micros is like you're like staring at it, going ripen, and forever.
Yep. And I started 4 cans. I think I've got one just died, but yeah, they didn't like the cans at all. So I had a Golden Hour, which is Brad Gates, one of his new micro dwarfs. I took that, I just up potted it. Looks awesome. What was the other one? Groovy Tunes. That's why I brought it up. And so, but I was growing another Groovy Tunes in a two gallon pot, I think. And boy, the fruits are like this big.
Yeah. I have a Groovy Tunes, or 2 of them actually, in one of my green stalk towers, and it's huge.
Yeah.
Like, it does not look like a micro. And then again, like the tomatoes are like, they're like this big.
Yeah.
And like a kind of a funky looking shape.
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah. None of them are ripe, so I don't know how cool they're going to get, but I hope soon.
One that's huge, and I think Ken from Forgotten Heirlooms mentioned it also. Golden Pearl. Is that it? Golden Pearl. That sounds right.
I think I have some of those right.
That thing's in my green stalk. It's massive. It's really big, and it's got these really cool little yellow micro dwarfs.
Yeah, they're pretty tiny, right? The ones I took off my plant are tiny.
Yeah, but they are fun. How are the grow outs going? Says Jamie.
I think pretty good.
Yeah, why don't you tell us what a grow out is?
So basically, you can enter in a type of or a variety of tomato. We have categories, like we have like I'm doing purple, cherry, and green. I think
you fought for green for me.
Well, he added that at the last minute, and I was like, oh, can I take? Because everyone else only has 2, and I was just like, give me green. I'll do 3.
Yeah.
So, but you say like you want to do green Cherokee or whatever, you enter into that. So you have to have 2 healthy plants. And basically you're growing them to save seeds from those. And then you're going to send me, I think it's like, I don't know the logistics of it, but it's like 10 packets of 10 seeds. And then there's 10 people that can enter that grow out, and they're going to do 9 other different tomatoes. And then at the end of this, that everyone gets those 9 other packets of 10 seeds. So it's like a seed swap, but you're supposed to post pictures of like update, like this is what my plant looks like, this is what the tomatoes on the plant, just to be active in the group. I think they're going pretty good.
Yeah, it's great. The group, I can't say it enough. My group, Attitude of Gratitude with Chronic Pain, is a full-time job. So I don't belong to other groups except this one. I absolutely love it. If you're a tomato addict, you will definitely want to join this group, and you can accumulate so many seeds and accumulate really good friends.
Yes. There are some really great people on there.
A lot of them are here right now.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here with you.
Let's see. Ooh, hydroponic. That's how I'm growing all of mine. Crack key mostly.
I looked into that a little bit.
Me too.
I don't know. I love the dirt.
I kind of do too.
I'm constantly dirty. I got all cleaned up for this, because most of the time I'm just covered in filth. And like I was ready 2 hours before, and I was just like, don't go outside and get dirty, Jen. I'm like a little child that constantly is like dirty.
But we were all like that. I would venture to guess that we're all like that.
Well, if I grew hydroponically, I wouldn't be that dirty.
That is true.
So something to think
true.
about.
I bought supplies for crack key, just getting clay pebbles tomorrow, then ready to go. Awesome. That's great.
Oh, neat.
Growing Fred's tie-dye first time this year. Great. Yeah, we liked it. We really liked it. And I believe it's Berkeley pink tie-dye, which is our number 2 favorite, and I forget what the other. Oh, dwarf wild Fred, I think. A lot of them like kind of cross together, so it's a little confusing.
There's a really neat. What is it? Is it Victory? Is it Victory Seeds? That's another seed company. Mm-hmm. But on there, they have like the breakdown of a bunch of the dwarfs and what the crosses are. It's really neat. That's another rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And it'll tell you who created the cross, what the cross is. Like that's how I figured out what Susie's Beauty was, the cross of that. It gives you really cool information. And then because they're called dwarfs, like they have like different groups, like they have the sneezy group or the sleepy group. So there's like different tomatoes in each of those subsections.
What does that mean, sneezy and sleepy?
Like dwarfs, the 7 dwarfs.
Oh, gotcha. Like, but what puts somebody in that category? Just kind of for fun?
So they have different. I mean, there's not just 7, but that's kind of how they. I thought, oh, isn't that cute? Dwarfs, like the 7 dwarfs.
Yeah,
like the sleepy.
And that's Victory
Snowy.
Seeds?
One of them is the Snowy group.
Snowy. That's Victory Seeds.
I think it's Victory Seeds. Yes,
they're a good company. Anne says so far my Tomato is the best you see her. I don't know what that is. Do you?
Yeah.
Please explain, Anne. I'm very intrigued.
Is that the name of the tomato?
Tomato? I'm very intrigued.
Tomato.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Melly says, I have Nemo and it's so pretty. Me too. Well, you know that because I mentioned it. Nothing ripe yet, but soon. The fruit on that kind of looks like Groovy Tunes where it's sort of striped. Amanda says, Cracky's fun for microdwarfs. I'm using Lay's Stacks chip cans because they aren't see-through and algae doesn't build up. What a great idea.
Oh, wow. Clever.
I tried once, just like over the winter in a mason jar. And I'm like, I don't need to color. They say not to have clear glass because algae will form, but I'm like, algae formed. So I want to try it again over the winter.
Yeah. That's something I'd like to get into. And like grow lettuce and stuff year round.
Yeah. I saw for Prime Day they had some neat systems and I'm like, no, Lauren, stop. Yeah. Kristen says, I'm a sucker for the names of the varieties. One of them is called Granny's Throwing Tomato. I love it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's some interesting names. I've got one that, pardon my French, is called Monkey Ass.
Yeah, I have to grow that.
There's a fused blossom. It looks like 3 blossoms all fused together. It's a monster of a tomato. It's over at Materville. And I'm excited for that one because they look really good. But some of the names, like there's like Fuzzy Blue Balls. And and if it has a cool name, I must have it.
I know. Same. I'm growing one.
Kidding? I need all of them. It doesn't matter.
I know. Me too. I'm the same. That's why we get along so well. Mm-hmm. My mom's name is Sandy, and there's a new-ish variety. I think it only came out a year or 2 ago. It's called Sandra's Smile, but in it's something different in a different language. I should show my my crazy spreadsheet.
Your spreadsheet. Oh my gosh, she's so organized. I love it.
Yeah, I wish I was like this in my regular life.
I want to be just like you when I grow up.
But I like to look at the varieties. I want to be like you. What one am I looking at? Oh, Sandra's Smile.
Sandra's Smile. I started to do something like you have, just actually putting the names of mine into a Google spreadsheet, and like I only got halfway and I was like, man. I was like, and then I started seed starting, so that fell to the wayside. Maybe this winter I'll get organized and figure all that out. I'm not very computer savvy, unfortunately.
I don't know how you keep track, but you do, and like you've already got your prizes. All organized and ready to go. I do not.
I have a to-do list. Every day I write down my to-do list and it changes. And then the next day I write so I cross things off my list. The second I have something that I need to do, it goes on that list. Like I write it down, and that's how I keep track of stuff and get things done. Because if I didn't have that list, I'd probably just stand around and spin in a circle.
Yeah. I'm a big proponent. I still believe in this is my planner, paper planner.
Yeah, I've got one of those too. I look at it every week. I'm just like, is there anything that I'm supposed to do or be at?
It's helpful. And I'm not trying to promote my book because I don't get paid I got paid a flat fee, so sales don't matter. But this is a book I released last May. It's called the 52-Week Intention Journal. So what you're talking about is setting intentions, and it helps. So this is Sandra's Smile, or Sandra's Smades. It looks interesting, doesn't it?
Let me look here. Oh,
and I'm only growing it because
I love the coloring of it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so neat. What's the size of it? And what is this website? Because now I have to go look at it.
We've got a
I can't read this.
What do you call it? What do you call it when they fuse together? What's it called?
Fused blossom?
Yeah, we've got a huge fused blossom of this. I forget what the other sizes look like, but it's a bigger.
Is it cat-faced? Because that's another term, but sometimes they can be fused and not really cat-faced.
It's cat-faced.
It's cat-faced. Yeah, that's when they're like really ugly and gnarly looking. And
yeah. I love those. I love them.
They're neat, but sometimes like you have one side that ripens and then the other side isn't, and it disappears.
No, and you have the best, like it'll ripen at the same time, and it doesn't always. I wanted to show this tip. This is a Radinelli dwarf, and it split. It was in a grow bag, and sometimes with the grow bags, if you get a lot of rain, they split. And I was really bummed out because there weren't a lot of fruit on it. So last year, Rob and I started this piece of Scotch tape. It's not going to last that long, but it'll buy you a couple days, like if it's not ripe enough. I just did that with Fred's tie-dye yesterday. It bought us like 3 more days, and it was fully ripe. But prior to that, it wasn't. So tip from Mrs. Tomato Head, Scotch tape.
Scotch tape. I guess what does that like keep the bacteria? Like
I guess I thought it would keep the bugs out, the bacteria. I mean, it's not going to go longer than a couple days, otherwise you're in trouble. But I really wanted to taste Fred's tie-dye, and there was only, I think, one other fruit on the plant. LaShandra's here. Hello from Florida. Hello.
Hello.
I'm growing super sweet 1.5 million gallon crack key. It's like 10 feet tall. How awesome. Boy, you do have the addiction there. You've got it banned.
Wow. 10 feet tall. How do you get to the top? A ladder?
No, I love this. And I wanted to do this. Kristen says, Mother's Day, I made my mom a bouquet with micro dwarf ink spot, and she loves it.
Oh, nice.
I was talking to somebody yesterday, like they're so adorable. And like, instead of flowers, you can, give a micro dwarf. And there's some that are really, really tiny, and there's some that,
baby micro. My goodness. It's like small. Both of my plants are like this big. Yeah. And it's got like 10 tomatoes on it. And I'm like, that's all it is just tomatoes.
Yep. Micro Tom is another one that's a hybrid, is small. Nina Neutron is another one. So there's some really tiny, Gemma. I'm like making all these notes. Granny Strong is one of my mom's favorites. They're great for sauce. Good to know. Really good to know. Make sure you write in hashtag tomato cracky in a mason jar all my long Illinois winter. And we're going to have to talk. I did end up getting, Amazon actually had like a cover for the mason jar, like a kind of like a cozy. So I'm going to try it again this winter. Oh yeah. Have you read Epic Tomato? You did read Epic Tomato, like on the beach or something, didn't you?
Yes. Yeah. In Punta Cana.
Yeah, that's the Bible. Craig LaHoulier.
All the pictures in there. They just, they get the juices flowing. It's really pretty book. Really easy read too. I really liked it. And
he and now her name's escaping me, but they founded the Dwarf Tomato Project. I feel that I'm forgetting her name. It'll come to me. So they decided that, not everybody has a large garden. So they wanted to create shorter tomato plants that gave you regular sized tomatoes. And so they spent many years doing it. And it's,
and there's a lot of them now.
Yeah, there are. And sometimes they're more exciting than the regular ones.
We got some questions here, Lauren.
Yep. Go for it. Can you put them up on the screen? I bet you can. Just you're on a different. Never mind.
Don't ask me to do
No, go ahead. Tell me which
the ink on my plant labels faded off, so I don't know any of my tomato varieties. Any suggestions? Wait till they're ripe, and then. Do you have a list of the tomatoes that you did start? Then maybe you could look them up once they're ripe. Trying to figure out which is which. Yeah, I've got some in my garden right now where I don't know whether a squirrel or a bird picks up the. Next year, I'm using tree tags. It's going around the bottom of the stem of the plant. And that way, because sometimes I'll bury the tags with mulch because I mulch around my tomatoes heavily. There's a couple in there where I think I've mulched over the plant tag, and I'm like, I don't know what you are. So that's what I'm planning on doing. Is once they ripen, then I'll look at the list of all I've planted, and then try to figure it out that way. But do you have any suggestions for them?
No, I like what you said. I guess just wait for them to ripen. It makes me crazy when I don't know what a tomato is.
Yeah, me too.
And I've got 3 varieties now that are not very clearly not what they're supposed to be. And it's not a matter of this guy's labeling, but you know, it happens sometimes. You order something and it's a bummer. But then sometimes you're gifted, like with our bananas noir, sometimes you're gifted.
Right.
I mean, not that we ordered that. That was kind of an accidental on our part, but sometimes you're gifted with something good. But then I was thinking, if it's good, then what? Like if it's mixed up seeds, then it's another variety. Like, what do I call it? Like Dark Queen is one of them. It's very clearly not Dark Queen. It looks like a little miniature heart. Say we love it. It's mind blowing. Then what? I save seeds and call it what? Anybody have any suggestions?
Like what would you call it? The one that was wrong.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they look great, and we have to do our tasting soon. So Ken says micro dwarf Hardin's miniature donated to the USDA in 1965 from Iowa. Prolific 10 to 12 inch tall plants producing tons of oblong sweet red cherries. Thanks, Ken. He's my micro guru.
I'm so glad you're here, Ken.
Me too. You're
full of information, and I just want to pick your brain.
Yep, the nicest,
tell
most
us everything
guy.
You know, Ken.
What?
I said, tell us everything you know, Ken.
I know. We're your fan club, Ken.
Yes, yes, totally. I'm so bummed I didn't get a picture with you that day. Next time.
You guys met at a seed swap, right?
Yeah. It was so much fun. I'm going to the one, I believe it's in January in I can't remember.
You told me
7 hours. It's like 7 hours away for me, so it's going to be quite the trip, but I'm doing it.
And you videotaped the last one. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah.
I saw one of our buddies here. Hey, Cheryl, glad you're here. You can go back. This is being recorded, so you can go back.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Cheryl.
What you
appreciated.
That's another word for it. Thanks, Cheryl. Amazing, all the different tomatoes. I can't keep up. I know. And then Ken will post pictures of a micro in the group, and I'll be like, what? I don't have this. How do I get it?
Yeah. That happens to me so much.
Hello from British Columbia. I'm so glad you guys are here and spending your Friday night with us.
Yes.
How often do you feed tomato plants? That's a good question.
And this is going to be a monthly thing, right, Lauren?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
When's our next one?
I don't know, but we will let you guys know. And if you have something that you would like to see us do, I mean, we're just tossing around ideas, but like have maybe guests on the show and talk about different topics, as the season goes on, we can talk about varieties that are really successful for us and some that were like really disappointments. But really, we want it to be our broadcast, right, Jen? We don't want it to just be us talking to you. We want everybody to contribute. Yeah.
Yes. Like a big group effort.
Yeah.
Because that's what makes it fun.
Patrina Nusky Small. Thank you, Kat. That's the name of the other person that did the Dwarf Tomato Project. And the Lucky Garden channel, who I adore, he had a great interview with her a while back.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that was really cool.
He's between you and him, you're kind of responsible for most of my tomatoes this year. Because Jen, if you haven't watched her videos, but I'm sure most of you have, she does like the seeds she swapped in April, and she will actually find a photo of every single one. So it's not just, like me, I'm like, oh yeah, here's Hardin's miniature. Jen will find a picture, which is, really great. Cause that's with my spreadsheet. I like to see the pictures. You can just use an old sock to pull on the glass jar. I do that for house plants. That's awesome. She's talking about Kratky for the mason jar. Little black bags to cover the quart jars. Great. Somebody asked, how often do you feed your tomato plants?
Oh yeah. I saw that. Usually at the very beginning, once a week.
What do you do?
I'll spray the base of the plant because I don't actually want to spray the plant itself. Try to keep it as dry as I can, but something organic that is higher in nitrogen in the beginning, and then as the plant has a lot of because nitrogen creates the foliage. And then once it's got a good amount of foliage and it's getting going, then I cut back on the nitrogen. I go heavier on the phosphorus and potassium. So whatever's organic, and you just look at those 3 numbers, and it's NPK. So the nitrogen is usually first, and then P and K are the other 2. So then I want ones with more of that, because that's what causes the flowering and the fruiting. So, but like, I think and then like, I did a video where I use Epsom salt. I just sprinkle just a little bit of Epsom salt. You don't want to use too much of it because it can actually cause blossom end rot. But I've heard it makes your tomatoes taste sweeter. I don't know if it's true, but why not? I've done it every year that I've gardened. This is my 5th year, and my tomatoes taste pretty darn good. So I go ahead and keep doing it.
There's so many tricks in there.
Right.
People have things, you've heard, throw a fish in the hole. There's so many things that people swear by.
Crack an egg.
Yeah, right.
I did that with some of my on the deck in the bucket tomatoes. There's a few of them that have an egg under them. They're doing great.
Once your plants are established, how often do you feed them then? Did I miss that? Like, or do you know, you just do the initial and then don't feed them anymore?
Probably every couple weeks.
Okay. But you don't have a specific brand. You just like whatever's organic.
Yeah. Not really. Just, yeah. I think there was something, I forget what it was called. I had it up in one of my videos, but it's what I've been buying this year. And it's like got like, I think it's like in the 30s or something with the last number, which is the one that's going to cause you to get more fruit. So I just put that underneath of them a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. So. We do, when we plant, we use Neptune's Harvest crab and lobster, which is a granular,
that's really good
for calcium. We got a big bucket of it this year, and that puts calcium in the soil, similar to like putting an egg in the hole or fish. And then we also use Neptune's Harvest the kelp meal. And then this year, and I know Ken is the same, started adding mycorrhizal fungi, which is the mushroom powder. And I don't know if that, we're having a banner year so far, and it's still early, anything can happen, but people swear by it.
Yeah.
And somebody in the group yesterday said they can't get it. I forget what country he was from. I'm not sure. It made me want to like give him some. And then so that's what we do when we plant.
Tony's here. Hi, Tony.
Hey, Tony.
You can come on on the next one.
Put that on in a minute. We've been promoting your group like crazy, Tony. He's the moderator and founder of Tomato Obsession and all there's Pepper Obsession, Mushroom Obsession. He just released Herb Obsession, right?
Yes,
so
Herb
obsessed
Obsession.
with anything else, but I'm partial to
I'm going to go take pictures of all my basils.
Yeah,
I got like
you a whole
10 of them out there. Yeah. Oh, I made basil tea for the first time.
From Jess from Roots and
other things besides tomatoes. I don't.
Sure, basil and tomatoes go together.
It's right back there. It's what I'm drinking right now. Have you ever tried basil tea?
I did. Jess from Roots and Refuge, her recipe.
Yeah. It's made my whole house smell amazing.
It's awesome,
and it tastes really good. It's a little bit too much sugar for me. They say I use like a half a cup of white sugar, and then I used a half a cup of honey. And it's a bit too sweet for me, but it's good. I'm pretty sure when I did the recipe last year, it was only honey and not sugar too, but I could be wrong. But you basically take a whole bunch of basil and honey, right? I think that's all. You put the basil in the like hot water, just let it steep. Pour hot water over it, right? And you let it sit there, and then you take all the basil out of it, and then you add the sugar to the hot liquid. Oh, right. It's a great way to use up basil. It's surprisingly refreshing. It's great. Yeah, I really like it. It's my first time making it today, and I'm just like, Jess from Roots and Refuge, pretty awesome. Yeah, my favorite. She's the reason why I started building this garden down that hill. Yeah. Because I saw her garden tour, I don't know, 5 years ago or whatever, one of her first garden tours. And I was just like, oh. And she had like all the tomato varieties, and that's where it started. That's where it started. Yep. I had to have every single one that she had. Yeah. I swear she has brought more people to homesteading and gardening. You hear everybody talking about her. She's very likable, and someday I'm going to meet her. We'll go together. Because how can you resist Mrs. Tomato Head? I mean, you just. Oh, we should show our shirt. She needs to know us. Yeah, look at this. We both have just a girl who loves tomatoes. That's it.
getting back to the fertilizing real quick,
Okay.
Because it's time. Just
get back on topic. Oh my gosh, it's 7:57.
I know
we haven't
we have
even
to taste
tasted our tomatoes yet. Are we still doing that?
Yeah.
Okay.
After the initial planting, then I do like every 2-3 weeks with liquid Neptune's Harvest kelp meal. And sometimes I just don't. Like I'm like you. I let my plants talk to me. I don't really water unless they wilt or unless there's been like a crazy drought. The grow bags are a little different, but yeah, I let them talk to me because overwatering is the source for a lot of disease, isn't it?
Yeah. Or blossom end rot. I'm pretty sure that's what happened to me last year. I was just like, oh, my plants are going to be so good. I'm going to water them every day. And like, I think I watered the crap out of them because like there was like a whole row that had blossom end rot, like all of the tomato. And I was just like, what? So this year, because I never watered consistently before, and I kind of got like this hose situation happening down my hill in different opposite directions. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to water now. And I didn't do that years past. And my tomatoes did great all the other years. And I'm just like, okay, that's it. Hands off, guys. It's off you. I'm not watering you anymore.
There's a lot of misinformation about blossom end rot. They say it's lack of calcium, which is sort of true and sort of not. It's really inconsistent watering, which leaches the calcium from the soil.
Right. And I'm
all right, where's
sure
Tony's comment? I didn't get it on here.
Soil.
Where are you, Tony? I saw him down here. Make sure we're getting ready to taste our tomatoes. We're doing 2 seed giveaways. If you're joining us late, just make sure you type in the comments #tomato. But I gotta find, where's Tony? Tony. I'm doing a special wishing well just for the tomato grow out participants. That's why I was late to your live. That's awesome. And then I saw another one. Where is it? I think I just saw him say, when do I get to come on? Here it is.
Yeah. He did. That's why.
Open invitation, Tony, whenever you want.
Next time.
Whenever you want.
We're doing one next month.
Yep. We'll let you know the date. All right. So let's taste our tomatoes. Oh, okay. Yeah. Put in #tomato and let's taste some tomatoes. So tell us about your tomato.
All right. I've got Susie's Beauty, which is a dwarf, and it's a cross between Big Rainbow and what did I say? Wild Fred?
Yeah.
Is that what I said?
I think so.
Okay.
Or was it Fred's tie-dye? I keep getting confused with all of the Freds. And
I think it's Wild Fred.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
And I've got like another one that's pretty comparable.
Wow. They're beautiful.
And I'm saving seeds from this to
we grew Big Rainbow last year. It was gorgeous and it's so prolific, but I just thought the flavor was a bit.
What was that?
Lacking. Big Rainbow. We grew
Big Rainbow. Yeah. It had some big tomatoes on the years I grew it in past, really big tomatoes. Ooh.
Oh, you've got.
I'm the same. I was kind of like, it was okay. There wasn't anything special about it. There's the inside. Ooh.
Very nice.
Yeah, nice and juicy, and the seeds are coming out of it. Okay, so.
You got a fan, Twisted Angel. Jen's channel is amazing.
Twisted Angel.
This one and the Obsession groups, thanks to her. Jen is amazing.
Thank you. You are so sweet. Okay.
Oh, this is a good idea. Oh, sorry.
Are we going to do this?
Yes, we're going to do this.
Okay.
And then we'll get to this idea from My Happy Place. All right, go. I'm salivating.
It's pretty good. It's just like it's got a good, it's better than store-bought.
Of course, yeah.
It's got a light acidity to it. It's got a good, I feel like, gel to meat ratio.
Mm-hmm.
The skin's a little bit chewy, but not terribly chewy. But it's nothing special. It's no Harvard Square.
Is it low acid? Because I know a lot of a lot of people ask for low acid tomatoes, so that's good to know. And that's a dwarf, right? Susie's Beauty.
Yeah, it's kind of milder in flavor.
Okay.
Yeah, Susie's Beauty is a dwarf. Yeah.
Yeah. So kind of mild, but if you're looking for low acid, that could be a good one.
I'll give it a 6.5.
6.5, very good. We've started adding the 0.5s too because we have to. My Happy Place says, how about starting a tomato plant and showing the progress on every time you'll have a live? I love that. I love that idea. What do you think?
What is it? What are we doing?
Her suggestion for our shows is we start a tomato plant live, and then every month we show the progress.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool. Like put it in the dirt.
Yeah.
Put the seed in the dirt and start it. Oh, yeah, that'd be fun.
That would be fun.
I love planting tomatoes. So
yeah,
yes,
maybe we could do a micro. That way we can do it all through the winter.
Yeah. Or we could try to grow.
We could.
Because I grew dwarfs all winter in my kitchen window back there.
You did.
Yeah.
You
Well,
did.
what was this is one of them. This is the one I revived.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you remember those? They look like, I don't know. Some of you might have seen that video where I had like five or six dwarfs in this window, and I thought they were micros, and they weren't. And they grew up the window, and then they started to climb back down the window. But then, like, because I started them at the end of October, and then by March and April, they looked rough. They were looking pretty rough.
But you put them in the greenhouse, and
I put them in the
transformation was awesome.
Yeah. Lots of banana water.
That's good stuff. I use that too. What was I going to say?
But I'm surprised it produced that pathetic looking plant produced such lovely tomatoes.
Tomatoes are so resilient. I know we talk about this all the time. We had a very late frost, May 18th. I will always remember the date.
I remember that.
We knew about it ahead of time. It was only going to be for a couple hours, but it got down in the 30s. It was, right on the cusp of when our frost date is. So the ones in the grow bags we brought inside, and then we had things planted. It was a little silly, but we lost.
Oh, I did too.
Ironically, well, I thought we lost. Uptown Funk was one of them. It looked deader than dead, and it was, one of my most anticipated. That thing has come back and is, that and Del Nerpio Verde, both of them came back. They're so resilient. I think because it wasn't that temperature for a very long time. It was just a couple hours, but it was black dead. So yeah. So all right. So if you guys missed it, this is Uptown Funk, which I'm excited about because it's a cross by Blaine Horton of, I know, Malachite Jen. I know she's excited to try this too. It's a cross between our number one and our number two, which is Malachite Box or Malachita Vayashkatulka and Pink Berkeley Tie-Dye, beautiful tomato, and then Indigo Rose. So I'm trying not to get my hopes up, wondering if a two positives make another positive. But here it's a little smaller, and I think the other ones are kind of the same size. Let's take a look. I asked Rob, I'm like, you sure you don't want to come on the air and taste this with me? Because we're both looking forward to it. He said, we've got plenty more. This is beautiful.
Ooh,
very nice.
So pretty. I love dark tomatoes.
I do too.
I love green one ripe, and I love the darker one. Oh,
me too.
Who am I kidding? I love them all. But like the dark ones are so pretty.
They are. They're pretty. I was very disappointed in the thong.
Oh, really?
It looked so gorgeous, and it really had very little, but I'm picky. So I like seeds and goo. I'm a weird one, and that most people like.
My daughter likes the seeds and goo.
I love them.
I've been seed saving, and then I put the tomatoes like in a container, and I was showing her, and she's like, "Oh, but the goo is the best part."
It is the best part. All right, here we go.
Good.
Malachite Jen, we've got a winner.
Oh, goody.
It's excellent.
That one's in my garden, so
it's excellent. Yeah. Wow. Oh, it's delicious. It's delicious. I'm not just saying that because we're on the air. I'm picky. This is, I like acidity, but also mixed with sweetness. It's really well balanced. It's got so much flavor. One of the members of the group said I like tomatoes with loud flavor, and that's true.
Yeah. I like ones with a lot of flavor.
That is a winner. I'll be saving seeds. That's really, really good. I would give that. That's up there with Pink Berkeley Tie-Dye Malachite. Uptown Funk, give it to you. Wow, that's really good. That's either a 9 out of 10.
Oh, really?
Malachite Jen says, "Yay!" I know, so exciting. My expectations were kind of low. And Tony says, "I love the." You're
gonna eat the whole thing, aren't you?
No, I'm gonna save this for Rob.
Oh, it's good
because it's our only ripe one at the moment. That's a really good tomato. Uptown Funk is the name of it. And I think it was only released a few years ago. Yay! So we're running a little over.
Yours is the winner and mine is the loser.
Well, it's just, and tomato taste is so subjective, isn't it?
Yeah. Everybody's taste is different. And that's why I always say when people say, "What's your favorite tomato?" I'm like, mine could be completely different than what you might like. And I hate giving I do reviews because I think it's fun, but at the same time, I'm always like, try them yourself. You got to try them yourself. I might say poo-poo to this one, and you might love it. So try it yourself. So I'll tell you what I think, but.
And, a lot of people, like I said, like the low acid. I'm not a fan. I like a little bit of acid. So that is one. Wow, that is one delicious tomato.
When I make a tomato sandwich, I like to do like all the colors. Like I like a green one, a white one, an orange one, and then I like put them all on the sandwich together. And I think that's just so cool because the flavors are so different sometimes, depending on the tomato, variety.
I know. All right, stop the presses here. What is malachite gem?
What?
My next wish is malachite gem, or is that malachite box you're talking about? Because if there's a malachite gem, I need to know about it.
My hair is getting long, Tony. It's always this long.
All right, so let's give away some seeds. So again, Jen's package, let me show you. This has been so much fun.
Yes, oh my gosh, I don't want to stop.
I know, me neither.
We could just go on and on all night long, I think.
And we would. Jen's giving away Suze's Beauty Aztec Microdwarf, Harvard Square, which is your favorite.
Yes.
Purple Bumblebee and Orange Jazz, which is supposed to have 2 Z's. So we'll
Is it supposed to have 2 Z's?
Jazz, well, yeah, I think so.
I didn't spell it right?
No, you spelled it right. I didn't.
Oh, okay.
On the thing. It's
it wouldn't be anything new. I'm surprised I pronounced it right.
Yeah, when I try to pronounce.
Every time you pronounce that malachite box, I'm just like enamored. I'm like, how does she get that out?
It's probably nothing like that, but I do try. All right, let's get the giveaway tool. Here we go. So this will be for Gen Seeds. Let's go. Ooh, 25 people entered. This is so fun.
So cool.
How am I entered?
Big money, big money.
Melly Kurt, awesome. Congratulations. Yay! You can message Jen through YouTube. Would that be the best way to get in touch with you, Jen? Or
probably why wouldn't anybody put their information like on YouTube?
Oh, right. But there is no private messenger on there or anything like that.
I don't think so. Facebook Messenger. Are you on Tomato Obsession?
Yeah, let us know, Melly. We'll get you.
I'm Jennifer Vandervoort Cordial on Facebook. Cordial.
Yep. Yeah.
Otherwise, private message
let
me.
Us know. Oh, she's excited. Oh my God, thank you. That's awesome.
Yay!
That's awesome. All right, let's give away. So mine is my top 3 favorites: Malachite Box, Berkeley Pink Tie Dye, and then our Accidental Cross, which is our number 3, Bananas Noir, and then 2 micros, Vilma, which is my favorite micro so far, and Groovy Tunes, which is just awesome. So
that's
let's
a good
give away that one.
I want to enter. No.
Here we go. You have.
I do. I have all of those, but it's just fun to win something.
What did I? Oh, I'm showing the wrong thing. I just did the thing and it wasn't.
A child.
Deb, yay! You have all my seeds, my friend. We can work out something else. That you've got all these, or you can have more. But congratulations, everybody. Melly says she says she'll message you on Facebook.
Okay, awesome.
Oh, and Kim One's here. Hi, Kim.
Ivy Grubbin said they have an amazing tomato appetizer at a Disney resort. It's a pan con tomato with toasted bread with garlic.
Ooh.
I need to go to Disney now.
Yeah, we need to do an episode on what to do with all of these tomatoes. Like maybe August and September, we can talk about that.
I'm going to be overrunning. I can't wait to start taking the pictures of just my house covered in tomatoes, because that's what it's going to be in the next few weeks.
Yeah. This has been so much fun.
Yes.
Somebody, and I missed the comment, but M. Kelly said, "Can we do this weekly instead of monthly?" I would love that.
That might be a thing. I think we can pull it off.
I mean,
especially in the winter, my goodness.
Yeah.
I'll be like ready to chat.
We need to talk about that. We'll talk about it. We'll let you guys know. I mean, we can't stop talking tomatoes.
Yeah,
and
I know.
For all of you to be here on a
after.
Friday night, spending your night here talking tomatoes. This is great. Oh, Cheryl wants to know what your shirt says. We both
are so wonderful. Thanks for coming. Yeah. Okay.
Just a girl who loves tomatoes.
We should all have tomato shirts.
Yeah. Thank you all so much. This is so much fun.
Thank you.
And good luck, happy growing, and we will let you know when our next episode is here. Jen, my buddy, I adore you, and
I adore you too.
It's so much fun doing this with you.
I am so glad we met.
Me too. Me too. All right, gang. Until next time. Thanks again for watching. Peace and love.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, gang.